video, and in the right way. Check this out. This is a screenshot from one of our lists where we added one smart feature to our video. We went from getting 196 opt-ins a day all the way to nearly 1,000 per day. That's a 400% increase simply by changing one simple thing. So what did we do? We moved our static sidebar opt-in form to a much more engaging location. We moved an opt-in overlay that slides in from within the video itself. This method is so simple yet insanely effective, it's stupid. The reason that this works is because when we watch a video, our attention is focused inside the video player. We're not focused on anything else on the web page. It actually takes a small amount of work for our brain to switch gears, which means that having your opt-in form in a static position outside the video player makes it psychologically harder for your audience to opt in. The key is to make it a knee-jerk reaction to opt-in. Opt-in overlay windows are just plain effective on virtually any kind of video. You've basically drawn someone into your video, and because it will psychologically lock the visitor in place, the addition of an opt-in overlay makes this an incredibly lethal combo. While a general pop-up overlay on a website may also increase lead conversions, those results will amplify inside a video. A little later on in the video, I'm going to show you how to take this exact same method and amplify it virally for free with a little help from Facebook. Now, the second tactic is to take advantage of time delay call to actions above, below, and around your video. Let me explain. Timing is everything when trying to make a sale, and for online marketing, it's almost the entire game. In order to hook your visitor, you have only seconds to accomplish this. That window of opportunity closes even faster when we're talking about actually generating a lead, and especially a sales conversion. The trickiest part of generating a conversion is that you need to pitch your call to action at just the right time. Too early or too late, and you've dramatically reduced your conversion rate. But if you deliver your call to action at the right time when their interest has peaked, then you've just found a gold mine. That's why adding buttons that will appear at the perfect time of your choosing is a quick way to see immediate results. Across the board, if you look at some of the top experts in internet marketing, they all use time call to actions. Guys like Ryan Deiss, Russell Brunson, Mark Ling, Frank Kern, Mike Filsaime, Brendan Burchard, and many others. Like us, all of these marketers test different conversion strategies and continue using only the ones that bring in the most sales and leads. The one major element that all these video sales letters have in common are timed call to action buttons. In fact, if you look at the top selling products on ClickBank, each of which are earning a minimum of $1,000 per day, you will quickly notice that each of them are using the same time call to action strategy. So why are all these industry leaders using this method? Because it works in every single niche. Plain and simple. Now the next profit booster is the call to action inside your video. By using this method, you can tell your potential customers exactly what to do within your video while the video is continuously playing, and then make it brainlessly easy for the visitor to follow through on the action. This is important because call to actions must be specific and guided and at the right time. This can be somewhat difficult to do in other forms of media, but in video, you can just come right out and say, hey, click here and get this awesome widget. In this case, you control the user experience and lead them to the primary conversion goal. Kissmetrics, a large marketing analytics company, also agrees because they found that clicks have increased by over 380% when they added the button overlay directly inside the video itself, rather than on their sidebar. Similar to an opt-in overlay, the same psychological locking effect applies. This method coincides with the tips we mentioned about the call to action above, below, and around the video. But the good part about this tactic is that it's an extremely simple and straightforward method to implement if you have the right software. Tip number 4 is make money by saving money. With this next tip, we were able to save nearly $7,000 per month. As a business owner, you understand that your profit is the bottom line number you're trying to increase. And the two primary ways to increase profit are driving more sales and lowering costs. Before implementing this one strategy, our billing statement was nearly $7,000 per month just to host the video and allow visitors to watch it. Now this was on a website that we were getting thousands of visitors per day, But even if you were getting only a couple hundred per day, that's a lot of money that we get to keep in our pockets. These charges were from a service called Wistia. They provide more control over the video player and user experience, however, you have branding and bandwidth limitations. Not to mention potentially thousands in video hosting charges as showcased above. So how did we save all this money? For starters, we stopped using Wistia. Secondly, we figured out a way to harness the power of the largest free video host on the internet, YouTube. One gripe that marketers often have about YouTube is that it imposes a general lack of control, whereas the viewer has way too much control. Between ad blocker extensions and the ability to fast forward, you lose possible leads in a heartbeat. The alternative to this is using Amazon S3 or your own hosting package, which will offer a bit more control if you know how to get into customizing a video player. The downside is you still have to pay for the hosting fee, and it can be a bit cumbersome. However, Matt and I are firm believers that there's always a better way to get what you want and none of what you don't. We were able to figure out a super easy solution to use the power of YouTube servers and video player, but with the custom functionality that we needed. I'll share more about this in an upcoming live training session, but essentially what we built will allow us to have exclusive control over the viewer functions of our videos. Hiding video controls, retaking control back from the viewer, adding opt-in overlays, adding timed buttons, adding call to action overlays, and more. And the best part is, we were able to create this so that we could use YouTube's hosting platform for free without compromising our conversion rates. In the end, we were able to save nearly $7,000 a month, thus adding about $80,000 per year to our profit. Now, the fifth video profit strategy is to use smart controls to enhance your visitor's experience. How annoying is it to visit a web page, watch part of a video, leave the page briefly with the intention to come back to finish the video, only to find out that when we visit the page again, we're required to start at the beginning of the video, and the video controls are disabled, so we can't fast forward to where we left off. Doing this will kill your conversions. If you hate running into this yourself, then you can be sure that you're not the only one. So don't put your visitors through the same bad experience too. Here's how. There are two important things that you need to do to properly bring value to the user's experience. The first is control the flow gently. As the website owner, you set up the sales or lead generation flow. You know exactly how you want your visitors to move through your website, videos, or sequence. You set it up this way so that you make the sale or conversion. So it's important that you remain in control and lead the visitor comfortably through the process. But at the same time, this control needs to be subtle hand-holding, not a pulling of the arm or dragging them through the mud type of control. This is why you need to keep point number 2 in mind. Point number 2 is your visitor needs to feel like they're in control. There's a fine line with giving up too much control in a video sales message and not giving enough. We have found that for repeat visitors, it is best to implement a smart video with smart controls that remember where the viewer left off. If they left the page and later returned, the video can start up again at the exact time frame that they previously left off on. Something like this. This removes the annoyance of having to start the video at the beginning, but at the same time allows you to remain in full control while keeping the visitor's experience in mind. Another strategy that we implement is adding the player control bar to some of our videos after about 3 visits from the same user. This way, the video will start up from the place that they left off, but it will also add the video control bar, the play, pause, rewind, fast forward, to give them more flexibility. If a visitor is coming back to your site 3 times to watch the same video, you don't want them to leave a 4th time without reaching the end of your message and converting the visitor into a lead. Now, the last strategy I want to share with you is potentially the #1 most profitable way to capture engaged leads from paid advertisements like Facebook ads. Facebook ads work insanely well if you're setting up the right systems to capture the people you're paying to visit your site. The biggest reason why paid advertisements work is because you're leveraging the infrastructure of the internet behemoths, Google, Facebook, Bing. This is a huge benefit because you can tell them the exact targeting demographics you want to find, the people who are most likely to convert, and so on. Now, imagine being able to zero in that demographic and then unleashing the power of your video opt-in overlay. You know the type of person visiting your site, You know what their needs are, and you can time your opt-in overlay perfectly to capture that lead. Remember, it was curiosity that brought the viewer to us in the first place, and it's almost always curiosity that keeps them where you want them. So you'll need to strategize your timing of when you activate the overlay within the video player, because curiosity is everything. Now, the opt-in overlay feature is powerful by itself, but what I'm about to share with you can quadruple your traffic by leveraging that paid traffic and turning it into more free traffic. Let me explain. Just like the opt-in overlay, you can use a technology that requires the visitor to first share your video on Facebook before they can continue watching. By doing this, you're able to engage the paid user while spreading your content to more people without having to pay anything extra in ad costs. It's basically free advertising. Check out the power of this one strategy. If timed correctly, here's why this works like a charm. You've harnessed the power of curiosity. You made the viewer opt in and share the video before providing them with the content they were after. In the back of the viewer's mind, you could possibly have the answer that he or she wanted to find. If they navigate away from the page, then they may not find their answer. Your visitor is thinking, so what's the harm in sharing or filling out a quick form? It's just a click or two, and then I might find what I wanted, right? And then lead captured. Okay, so let's recap just for a bit. In this video, you learned how to increase your leads by 400% using one simple opt-in overlay trick while gaining free social shares. The #1 most profitable method for capturing engaged leads from a paid advertisement. That implementing your call to action inside of your video at the exact perfect time to close the sale or sign up can instantly increase clicks by up to 380%. That using timed call to action buttons and opt-ins above, below, and around your videos is a must. And the one secret that saved us nearly $7,000 per month on video hosting, and how we're getting more engagement without spending more money simply by harnessing the power of YouTube and our custom built software.